Alright guys, I'm in the shop working. I want to show you some aluminum mounts, brackets I guess you'd call them, for some Gitz oil cups, some oiling cups for the Colchester lathe. They go on the apron, they mount on the side brackets to the apron, some plates of steel, and they're going to mount on one bolt, one screw is going to secure them. And they kind of fit into a specific place. And these are going to be for oiling the power feed rocker. It engages the cross feed and the longitudinal feed. There's brand new bushings I made in the bottom there, and each one of them is tapped for a 1/8 inch pipe thread. And I got some push lock hose fittings screwed in there, and I'm going to bring the hoses out to these Gitz cups on the sides of the apron. So it's a positive way to get oil to those bushings, and it lubricates the bushings. It's on that long power feed rod with the keyway that goes the length of the lathe bed. So it's pretty important to lubricate those. If you remember way back some videos, those are trashed out completely. Probably at least the second time that someone's give those attention rebuilding pieces of this lathe. The power feeds are just designed very poorly for a couple reasons that I got into in my other videos about them. So after all my, not just making new bushings, my re-engineering completely of the mechanism that engages the gears for the power feed, and how the forces were just so high that they wiped out the bushings. And now I got a little finger dog that locks in and balances the forces on that that shuttle that goes back and forth to engage the long or the cross feed. So let me take a handheld, show you a bit what I'm talking about. Don't drop the camera, Doozer. All right. The mighty 17-inch Colchester. I cleaned that chuck up. So the tailstock's been gone through, and that's done, and I'll show you a bit of that. And the chuck is cleaned and put together, deburred. It's in very good condition. It's a Bernard chuck, 16-inch chuck. Anyhow, let me show you where I'm going to put. So these are Gitz cups, for you guys that don't know. They're like an oiling cup that allows the dust to stay out of the cup. And I added these and drilled a whole bunch of internal passages in the apron. In reality, you could hook up a Doozer pump lubricator to those 1/8 inch pipe thread ports. And initially it had only these ball oilers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I left those, but the majority of the lubrication will come from putting, if you oil these two, you don't need to mess with the rest. Let's just say that. Anyhow, I got these side plates, right? And that supports the crossbar for the fix that I did. I had to mill all this to get a flat surface. This 2 bolts, 2 screws holds on the plate, and you can kind of see that crossbar mechanism, and that was part of the fix. Is all that stuff in the background there, which it's lit up poorly. I could grab my new flashlight, but whatever. But anyhow, I need to mount. It's going to oil the bushings in the middle. It's going to oil this and some other, but it's going to oil the shaft primarily. So it's got to have the oil cup just above the height of that shaft for the oil to go down and over. So I took the Allen head cap screw out of there, and this hole is 1/2 inch from the edge, 1/2 inch from the top, because that's how I made this plate. And I'm going to put a bracket there for a Gitz oiler cup. And I'm going to do one on the other side too. Oh, here you go. I bought this at Harbor Freight. This lamp is freaking excellent. Alright, so let me kind of show you the whole dealerooski there. So the background, you can see the bar and that fork, right? That fork. And what the deal is, that fork is a slot, and man, this is going to be jacked. So you move that to the long feed, and you got, move this sucker, hold on. It needs to be, take that off, turn this a bit. Alright, now it's in, alright. Sorry for the expert camera work. So now you see there's a pin, stay there flashlight, that locks in, right? I'm kind of reviewing this for you guys because it's a good many videos back. So that, when you drop this down, right, I'm going to unlock it, right, that's the carriage for the power feed, right? You can see it's running up and down. You look down there, when it goes up, you see that pin goes in those, between the goalposts, right? The pin goes in the slot. So that goes, there's a pin on the bottom, of that rocker, and it goes in there. So that was my fix to constrain the back end of that. And the bushings I'm trying to lubricate. You can see that 90-degree adapter fitting for a piece of hose. There's one over on the other side, and those 90-degree push lock elbows, 1/8 inch pipe thread, those are going to feed the bushings. It's hard to see the bushings, but you know, it's a fruitless venture because it's there you go. You can see the bushings now, and the oil drips there. So those bushings will be fed with those cups. So let me kind of turn off the flashlight there. Tell you, man, this Harbor Freight flashlight, it was $30, and they got 2 different lumens that you can choose from. But this thing plugs in to a wall charger, which they don't give you, but it's a USB charger. $30, high quality. Man, I'm not a Harbor Freight fanatic. Sidebar again on this chuck. This thing has no face run out. I can't detect any face run out at all, which is great. It's got 4 thou of radial run out, but I don't think that's of any consequence seeing as it's a 4 job, but the face run out is good. So I'll be also, like I said, putting an oiler cup bracket mount there. So it's going to register on the corners of that plate, take you over to the Mighty Mite Clausing 8520. Let me back up. Everybody loves to see the Clausing 8520, right? The smallest mill I have, but I got a digital readout on it. So maybe you can kind of see what I'm doing, right? So I milled out the aluminum pieces here. That's going to go on the corners of them steel plates, and it's going to locate on the side. It's going to locate on the top. There's the bolt hole, screw hole, and I left last night. It was like getting late, and I was tired. See how I relieve the corners at a 45-degree angle, right? That's kind of nice for the plate. Make sure the corner of the plate fits in there without obstruction. And you use the readout and you just crank both handles and you go 2/1000ths at a time, or you try to do them synchronously. And if you crank both handles together, you get a 45. So that's what I did. I just cranked them both and got that 45 pocket in there. It looks really nice. Sort of something I thought about doing just off the cuff, don't you know? So that assures me that I have a non-interference with the corner, no interference with the corner. So that's it for the second. The moment, I'm just going to keep trucking. Oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap the bottom and the top 1/8 inch pipe thread. I'm going to drill a through hole right there, and I'm going to have another tubing, push lock tubing fitting on the bottom, and I'm going to have the Gitz oiler cup in the top. So 1/8 inch pipe thread, 1/8 inch pipe thread, connect them with a 3/16 or whatever size cross hole or whatever, and that's it. So I got like, it's kind of like a little pipe nipple cup, or pipe coupling really, built in. Kind of a neat little custom touch. Thought that'd be kind of fun. Anyhow, all right, I'm gonna keep crack-a-lacking on this project right here. Doozer shop. All right, Doozer shop. Got the brackets I made for the oilers over on the milling machine installed on the apron of the Colchester 17 lathe. Let's take a look at them. So there's the apron and all the controls. You can see the top two were existing. The block I was working on the milling machine is right there. So as you saw on the mill, I got the corner notched out so it registers on that plate. And all right, we're not rocking on a boat here. That's the end result, and it's kind of on the corner there. You can see the oil lines go underneath, and boy, it's going to be hard to see, but you can see the lines go up underneath there to those elbows on that power feed rocker. HS and TS, that was my headstock, tailstock, orientation of that bar, doesn't matter, but kind of serves to show how this is all rigged up. And there's of course one on the headstock side. So identical, kind of mirror images. So that's going to be nice for putting oil in. I already had it running, and as that intermediate gear spins, you can see there's a little bubble or two or three of oil in the lines there, air bubbles. And it was feeding nicely, so that's cool. That's done, and got the big chuck on there, and got all the lubrication. Everything's 100% done with the lubrication system. The only thing I got to do now is concentrate on, the more I think about it, I believe this gap is from a different Colchester 17. It's high by about 3/1000 in the front, and on the V-way and on the flat way it's high about 1.5 thou. And the best way I could think of measuring that is, I've tried with the dial indicator and all this stuff, is to put a straight edge or a parallel, right? Let me wind it out here. Let me drop the power out and da-da-da-da. Just put this is higher, so lay a parallel or straight edge across, and as it hangs over, shove a piece of feeler gauge in there, and the same on this side. Get a piece of flat stock. Well, I got a level here. Imagine I put a feeler gauge underneath there, and I can get about a 2.5 thou feeler gauge on the one, and a 2 thou feeler gauge on this side. that the gap insert is higher. And of course, here I did the same trick, and I got like a 1 thou feeler gauge to go in over there. So it's not a lot, but it does cause the carriage to hump up a smooch. So I don't know if I want to grind that. I'm not a scraping student, so I really don't know much about scraping, but maybe I should. Supposedly this is a hardened bed, so I don't know. Anyhow, some of you guys to think about, maybe give me some advice in the comments about, I've heard grind it in place. I got the Rockford planer going, so maybe I can use carbide and plane this down 2 thou or whatever. Anyhow, that's my options. So, thanks for that. Until next time, yeah, got the oilers done. This is Doozer Shop.